I really want to appreciate my coaches because we have been in the camp for long, and for me winning this caring, I have to put more effort because when a lot of country come to your own country to compete, you have a lot of tension, different motive on your mind. So I really appreciate that I put in my best efforts. So I'm very happy for me to win the gold medal.
I was surprised when I came here because I was expecting a track much more bumpy, and that in this condition, this track is really nice. For real, it's really nice condition. I love the roof. The style of the roof is really good. I think that there is a lot of potential on this track. It's possible to organize really big races on this track because it's a really nice facilities. So yeah, I was really surprised in a good way, and I'm looking forward now to come back here.
Good morning there to let you have a feel of cycling, African cycling, tracking event that took place in Abuja, and you had a lot of cyclists coming to Nigeria. We hosted it, and really a lot of Nigerians were so happy to see how the sport called cycling actually took place. We'll be looking at it, focusing on cycling's sport development in Nigeria, where we'll be having a board member of Cycling Federation of Nigeria, and also who is also the chairman of Ogun State Cycling Association in the person of Femi Thomas, joining us from Lagos. Are you there, Femi Thomas?
Yeah, good morning.
Well, actually it's evening, but let's quickly talk about this. When we look at cycling, you as a cyclist, a former cyclist, you've retired anyway, but with your experience in this sport, let's start with that. How would you advise people to go into cycling? Because a lot of people say, oh, it's football every time. You as an ex-athlete or ex-cyclist, what can you say about cycling to encourage people to go into it?
Please, can you take that question again?
Okay, okay, you as an ex-cyclist, you were there, you've done this sport before. How would you advise the young ones out there to take into cycling? Let's start with that, so that they can buy into cycling.
Okay. I don't really get the question fully. I think one or two, which I about being an as an ex-cyclist, I believe there's a lot of growth which you could have gotten in Nigeria. Looking at the time we have started and then the things that have happened in the past, and believing that there could have been a more benefit on cycling at this stage in Nigeria. But we are still where we are due to lack of consistency, and we haven't been able to see the full government backup in the sport. So, which is the major priority that can give the cyclists in Nigeria a good range with other sports, like other sports as football in Nigeria.
Okay, good one there. Now, let's talk about cycling in Nigeria. The federation, that is Cycling Federation of Nigeria, recently they hosted the African Track Cycling in Abuja. I'm sure you were around. A lot of issues here and there. Let's talk about funding when it comes to that sport. I think you need to adjust your Femi Thomas, you need to okay, let's talk about funding now. Funding about cycling. This sport is a sport that a lot of people really love to participate, but to some extent you need to spend money to get it done. When it comes to funding, the Cycling Federation of Nigeria, how does it work, funding that particular sport in Nigeria?
I believe I would like you to take that question again. Like I said, there's a little or less audio. I can hear as much.
Okay, I'm talking about funding for cycling. We know funding is always very essential when you are doing any sport. And if there is no money, most of these athletes can't even get a very quality bicycle, or rather, they want to train with a lot of gadgets here and there, their headgear and all that. I'm talking about Cycling Federation of Nigeria. How do they go about getting funds? Because they just concluded African Track Cycling. The issue of funding was another thing that disturbed or hampered that event from going so well.
For the cycling, African World Cycling Championship, I guess, is that what you're asking? There's an issue with an audio, so I'm not as conversant to hear you pretty good because of these audio issues. I wish there's other way I can be able to hear you properly.
Okay.
But on the World Championship in France, we tried our best because there is no as much as equipment. Neither do we have enough sponsorship for it. But we're able to participate in it due to the past points. They are having different events, accumulated in different events, and the African Championship, which was in Abuja this year. We are just there to be able to show that, okay, we can participate, because that's what I can say, because mainly we don't have an equipment that can match up with the world standard, and this as well give our team a tough time to be able to compete with the world, and which gives the other competitors a hedge over us. So these are the things that there is no equipment, and the equipment provided by funds by the president of the Cycling Federation, and some donation from either one or two donations from the CAG Confederation body, which is the African body of cycling. So mostly there's no equipment, and that has been a difficult issue.
That has been a difficult issue, really. Well, that has actually brought you to the question I was asking. It means funding has been the bane of cycling development in Nigeria, one way or the other. But now, despite the fact that fund has really hampered the growth of cycling in Nigeria, you said, according to you, that you get support from the president and also the Confederation of Cycling in Africa and all that. But right now, in Ogun State, I'm taking you back to your roots now, in Ogun State, where you are the chairman of the association there. How often do you organize cycling competition?
I'm sorry.
Okay, maybe, well, because of the fact that we can't get you through, because of the audio, you just have to reschedule this. Femi Thomas, probably you just have to be joining us in our subsequent edition because of the fact that we can't get you to you. Well, we hope to talk more concerning cycling. He is the current member of the board of Cycling Federation of Nigeria and also the chairman of Ogun State Cycling Association. He's trying to talk to us concerning cycling sport development in Nigeria, but technically, we are hearing him, we are not hearing him well concerning the audio there. Now, let's move on. We just quickly have to move on concerning all the matches that will be coming up for tonight. Matches will be coming up in CAF Women Champions and all that. But before then, let's talk about CAF Women Champions League. CAF announces prize money for that's the Women's Champions League. They actually outlined the money, how it will be. But earlier on, they were like, they would not allow that to happen. They would not be giving money. But the teams were like, what's the point of competing if there won't be monetary terms attached to it? But right now, CAF actually deemed it fit to at least allocate some money to the winner, the first runner up. The winner will get $400,000. Hopefully, we hope that Bayelsa Queens will be getting this. First runner up, we go to we get $250,000 rather. Semi-finalists will get $200,000. Group stage teams will get $150,000. You have 4 teams, we get $100,000 each participating in the CAF Women Champions League that will be coming up in Morocco. Well, we have Group A and B, where Asfar of Morocco, Simba Queens of Tanzania, Green Buffaloes of Zambia, Determined Girls of Liberia, they will be there. While in Group B, Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa, Bayelsa Queens of Nigeria, Wadi Degla of Egypt, and also UNIFAC. That will be decided. The 8 teams will be fighting for honors. And right now, at least participating in this competition, you are going home with $100,000. And if you are able to win it as the winner, $400,000 waiting for the winning team. Good one from CAF, deeming it fit to at least set aside something for the women, at least for a while. It has not been a system, but now we have the second edition coming up. The first edition came up last time, and now they want to make sure it gets better. Now they have awarded some money, $1.5 million there for the women, that's CAF Champions League women. While we're talking about that, we move on to look at matches that will be coming up this evening in the English Premier League. Just 2 games will be coming up. Fulham will be facing Aston Villa. Leicester City will be taking on Leeds United. A tough one there between the L teams. Leeds away to Leicester at the King Power Stadium as they'll be fighting for honor to see who wins this particular game. While Fulham can defeat Aston Villa. Aston Villa under Steven Gerrard are really struggling, and it has been muted that he could be sacked. In fact, Pochettino's name has been mentioned if maybe he will be taking over if he's sacked. But right now, Aston Villa manager talking about Steven Gerrard is saying, well, he knows that he has not been doing well since he took over that club, and he wants to get things right for the team that play at the Villa Park. They are away to Fulham. And they win against Fulham. That's for the players to answer by the time they play that game. Leicester against Leeds United. A tough one is going to be between Leicester and Leeds United. That game will be the game that a lot of you want to see. What will Leicester be doing? So Nigeria are there. Don't forget the Iheanacho and Ndidi. Well, Ndidi has not been having it easy due to injury, and they just have to get their playing time right for them to do well for Leicester against Leeds United. But for Aston Villa, they need to up their game if they are to do well against Fulham, who we know they will be able to spring up surprises against Aston Villa. See, talking about matches that will be coming up tonight, let's go to the women camp as we talk about Women Champions League fixtures for tonight. We quickly look at the games that will be coming up in the women category, Champions League. Blasnia Femra will be facing Real Madrid Femenino. Barcelona, they actually won their game 9-0 against Benfica. What will Real Madrid be doing is a challenge to them. They will fight out against Blasnia Femra there. PSG against Chelsea, a big battle there, big match between the two teams. PSG will be facing Chelsea, and they want to see who will win this game. Arsenal, they've done it in their first game as they won by winning against Lyon 5-1 in that encounter. So Chelsea just need to take a cue from Arsenal by also trying to defeat PSG away over there in France. PSG feminines against Chelsea women, a big match there. VfL Wolfsburg ladies against St. Pölten of Austria. That will be another game. Germany against Austria women. That's St. Pölten now. They'll be fighting for honors. They are Wolfsburg lady. They are very good when it comes to football. And Roma Feminine will be playing against Slavia Prague women. Another big one coming to Italy. Roma, they'll be playing against the Slavia Prague. A match that you want to see. What will the Roma team do? Will they be able to win against Wolfsburg in that game? Wolfsburg against Sporting, and also you have Roma there. A lot of matches coming up in the UEFA Champions League for women. We talked about how Barcelona, they were able to wallop Benfica 9-0. Asisa Oshuala was able to score 2 goals and also 2 assists in that game. Well, for Arsenal, 5-1, they won against Lyon. But for PSG Chelsea just have to up their game because PSG would not sit back and watch Chelsea defeating them just like Arsenal did against Lyon women there. Talking about Women Champions League, and now the big one also coming from Arsenal men now in the Europa League fixture. They didn't play last week, and now they will be playing their own this week. Talking about Arsenal in the Europa League fixture where they will be playing against PSV Eindhoven over there in London. Arsenal need to do well in this game, although in their group they are also doing so well in their own group. Talking about Europa League fixture, in fact, they are topping there. But playing against PSV, they just have to up their game if they are to win, not underrating the team from Netherlands. They just have to do well. Arsenal, they've been fantastic so far in Europe and also in England. You look at the table in England, they are topping, and also at Europa Cup, they are also doing well. Well, Arteta right now will be hoping that his lads will do well in this game as they face PSV Eindhoven, where a particular player will be coming to show his skills in that particular game. Well, from this particular game, Cody Gakpo will be coming up against Arsenal. They just have to be very careful of that very talented player who right now will be coming up against them. But Arsenal, with their stars like Martinelli, not forgetting Odegaard, Gabriel Jesus, they are ready for this particular game in London. Hopefully they will do well in that particular encounter, fighting out against PSV Eindhoven. Now, Spanish La Liga fixtures, matches will also be coming up in La Liga. We have Almeria taking on Girona. Espanyol will be playing against Osasuna in that game. Barcelona will be playing against Villarreal, just the way Real Madrid was able to win against Elche in their own game. Talking about La Liga, just yesterday, Real Madrid won against Elche. They scored 3 goals there, where Benzema, current World Ballon d'Or holder, was able to score one of the goals. Valverde and Asensio, they were on song in that particular game, and they were able to win against Elche. So Barcelona will also want to take a cue from Real Madrid by facing Villarreal. Can they do it? Barcelona, we know they lost at the El Clasico against Real Madrid, and now they just have to answer back with a win against Villarreal, who will be facing, who are right now be coming out to see if they can also win against Barcelona. For Xavi, their manager, he has been talking that he needs to get it right for that team. In Europe, they are struggling, seriously struggling, almost dropping to Europa Cup, and also in La Liga, although they are second on the log behind Real Madrid. But after losing out in that Clasico, they want to up their game against Villarreal by making statement at Nou Camp. Barcelona needs to answer back with a lot of goals if they are to challenge Real Madrid for the cup over there. Talking about the Spanish La Liga Cup, they just have to respond with a win against Villarreal. But Villarreal, we know they are not a pushover when it comes to playing football. The Yellow Submarines, as they call them, will also be coming up with a lot of fantastic performance against Barcelona. It's going to be a cracker tonight between Barcelona and Villarreal at the Nou Camp. Big one there for Real Madrid right now, winning back-to-back in Champions League. They are doing well, topping the table there as a defending champion. And also when it comes to the league game at home, they are also coasting home. After they won the El Clasico, they are able to top the table right now. They added another icing on the cake by winning against Elche, and that has given them an edge, extra point ahead of Barcelona, who will be playing against Villarreal. It's going to be a big one between the two teams right now, because in La Liga, it's already a tough battle between the two teams who are always fighting to see who will triumph for each season. We've been looking at Spanish La Liga fixtures, and quickly, let's talk about Italia and Copa. Copa Italia will be coming up. Matches will play. We look at games that will be coming up. Cremonese against Modena. That will be a match to watch. We want to see that game because we have Nigeria playing that team, Cremonese. Sampdoria against Ascoli. That another match that will be coming up between Sampdoria and Ascoli. Bologna will be at home against Cagliari. Can Bologna do it in the game they will be playing against Cagliari? It is very possible. Football can just be so dicey. But these are the three games that will be coming up in the Coppa Italia that will be coming up tonight. Cremonese, Modena, Sampdoria, Ascoli, Bologna, Cagliari. Although some matches were actually played, if we can have the result, that was yesterday, Coppa Italia games that was played, and also I will talk about the Spanish La Liga result that was also played before we wrap it up. But really, we just have to look at the fact that some Nigerians will be playing in most of these games. You have to appreciate the fact that they've been doing well over there in Europe. Spezia did well against Brescia 3-1 in the Coppa Italia result that was played. And you have Parma, actually they pipped Bari by a lone goal. Udinese 2, Monza, surprisingly they came, they saw, and they conquered in that game. 3-2 goal rush. It was for Monza who really came, and they were able to defeat Udinese. Well, Edoge couldn't score for Udinese. A lot of Nigerians were looking at Edoge. He has been fantastic for that club, Udinese. Well, they lost in that game. 3-2, good one for Monza, and they really show class. Spezia 3, Brescia 1. Talking about Coppa Italia result there. Well, the games that were playing this that Spanish La Liga result, I told you earlier on that Real Madrid won their game. They were really unsung as they were able to win that game where Valverde, not forgetting Asensio, and also the man of the moment, Karim Benzema, he was able to add another one. They won 3-0 against Elche. Real Sociedad 1, Mallorca 0. Celta Vigo actually lost that game against Real Valladolid by 4-1. Good one for Valladolid, who really made a lot of statement in that game. For Cadiz against Real Betis, it ended 0-0 in that particular game. Well, German DFB poker matches were actually played. If you can have the result there, we look at German DFB poker where matches were also played. Let's look at how it went down over there in Germany, where Hannover 96, they lost against Borussia Dortmund. Good one for Borussia Dortmund. They were able to show their class as from the top league, scoring 2 goals. They are winning against Hannover 96, who no longer play in the German Bundesliga. But Freiburg, they made a statement against St. Pauli 2-1, Paderborn 2, Werder Bremen 2. It was a 2-2 draw between Karl Roche and you have Sandhausen also trying to do well there. It ended 2-2. They shared the sport. Union Berlin, they've been very fantastic so far this season. They are topping the table in Bundesliga right now in the German DFB poker. They are also doing well. They won 2-0 against Heidenheim, 1846 in that game. Augsburg, they lost against Bayern Munich. Good one for Musiala, who also was among the scorers. 5-2, they won that game, and you just have to credit Bayern right now. They are trying to catch up with Union Berlin after upstaging Freiburg on the log of table in the German Bundesliga. Union Berlin are still there topping, but right now Bayern rule with a lot of goals against Augsburg. 5-2. It was a 7-goal thriller in that game in an away match for Bayern, the teams that play over there at the Allianz Arena. Fortuna Düsseldorf 3. You have Jean Reg, who actually lost that match at home by 3-0. Good one for Stuttgart, who came walloping, nearly spelled Armenia. They won 6-0 against Armenia Bielefeld there. Good one for Stuttgart right now, showing their class in the German DFB Pokal. Those matches were actually played, and you have to appreciate the fact that those teams, they make statements, especially like Stuttgart, Bayern, who came, saw, and conquered. Good one for those two teams in the German DFB Pokal. Those matches were actually played on Wednesday. And we've been giving you all the results as it went down in different locations in Europe, and also matches will be coming up tonight. Arsenal will be facing PSV Eindhoven, and you have other teams like in Spanish La Liga, Barcelona against Villarreal will be coming up. That's a match to watch. In the UEFA Champions League for women, Chelsea against PSG, big one. Arsenal, they've made theirs. Real Madrid also needs to do their own. From the way it is, a big one between all these clubs. They will be fighting for honors tonight. That will be it on 360 Sport, where business and fitness is the mark of the day. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.